what you think you know. The objective is getting your cloud filled. And once it's filled, rain is what? Automatic. God will not send rain just because there is a drought. He only sends rain when the cumulus cloud is filled with water. When the cumulus cloud is filled with water, what will happen, class? The rain will come. You don't have to know an Indian who can do, what do they call it, a rain dance. Right? You don't have to pray special prayers. I've done that before. Pray for rain. And the Lord said, what are you doing? I said, well, Lord, the people said, pray for rain. He said, yeah, but I speak to you. What are you doing? I said, Lord, I was whenever he asked me questions, I know I'm doing something wrong. I said, I knew I wasn't getting a connection for some reason. I was trying to do the right thing. This a few years ago, we had the drought here, the last drought. I'm praying. The Lord said, what are you doing? I'm praying for rain. He said, do you think I'm simple? Here's what he said. He said, there's a system in place to take care of that. See, you don't have to pray for something where he's already ordained a system. All you need to do is work the system, and the results are automatic. See, some of you violate systems. Then you want to pray for results. You can't get results where there's a system he's already ordained to take care of that. If a man doesn't work, he shouldn't eat. I don't have to pray about whether or not I need to give you $500 if you don't have a job. I need to find you a job. No, yo. Give me the $500. Okay, when the $500 are gone. All right, that's fine. All right, when the $500 are gone, then what? You back to begging again, right? You know why? You violated a system. There's a system in place. What we need to do is comply with the system. In the case of rain, we need to pray that condensation works. Father, let the laws of condensation continue to work to drain every bit of moisture that's in this earth so that the clouds can become full so that the rain can come. Show me, what do I need to do? What's my part in this system? Where am I missing you? Come on, amen. If the truth be told, I would mess with something with that. I don't have time to get in that. Lord, sometimes I wish I had a computer on my mind. I can just print what I'm thinking so I can teach it later. The word, only because sometimes when God speaks something to you, you need a minute to explain it so people get it and don't get it half-baked. And only have like 23 more minutes before this one is over. All right? To become grossly familiar with the behavior, or in other words, to behave as with everyday occurrence. Becoming too familiar with the scriptures and with God has the same effect. The process of making things as a family member. The word familiar is derived from the word family. The word familiar is derived from the word family. And you know how we treat some of our family? You remember Yosef, we know him as Joseph, right? He told his brothers his dream, his vision, right? And what did they do? They sold him to some traveling gypsies. Why? They didn't want to hear that. Why? This just little Joe. Jojo. Come on, amen. That's just Jojo. They were too familiar with him. But a few years passed. Come on, y'all stand here with me. A few years passed, and who were they bowing before? Who could they only get food from? Who gave them a place to live? Who sent for the entire family, 70 souls, their father and 69 other people to come stay in the land of Goshen, and that 70 people within 400 years turned into over 2 million people. Who was the one who invited them? Little Joe, Jojo. And God says that's what happens when you make him, his word and divine things like family members. People you don't pay any attention to. What was the example I used this morning? Baby Sugar. Nickname for your cousin or something. That's Baby Sugar. Right? He grows up a little bit, you just call him Sugar. They add on about 300 pounds now. That's just Sugar. That's Suge, man. Now, can Suge tell you anything? No, man. You're too familiar with Suge, right? You don't pay any attention to Suge. Shug can have the word of the Lord, but do you paying attention to that? No, that's just Shug. Am I teaching right? Too familiar, presumptuous. We choose the services we want to attend as if God is waiting on us and giving us a restaurant menu. Yes, I'll have that today. Who do we think we are? No, I don't want any of that. That's on my Wednesday. See, that's my showtime night. Oh, no, this is the time I have to spend with my spouse or my significant other person. I can't be able to come to church then. Oh, no, that's pretty presumptuous that God's just going to show up and give you breath the next time so you can make it up. That's pretty presumptuous. Let me see if I can work this out. All right, now, we've already covered several facts. We note that familiarity with a person or an object can lead to lessening in interest or delight. To give you several scriptures for that. We looked at Samson. We looked at David. We looked at taking God for granted. Last week we talked about the hum in ho-hum, becoming too confident in our revelation of God and the things of God, becoming too familiar with the message of the cross.